This video is a translation of the newly released 7th volume of P-SPEC, a fanzine created by the developers in which they share their passion for the franchise, and some behind-the-scenes stories that give insight in how this game is made. The scans are provided by the Redditor Burst and Wind, and I translated them to the best of my ability. However, some minor sections that I found too difficult to translate were left out. Additionally, the few sections that had nothing to do with Phantasy Star were left out for the sake of brevity. Yes, I am aware of the runtime of this video. I hope you enjoy it regardless.
Those of you who picked up this book may be wondering what P-SPEC even is. It's actually an official fanzine created by the game developers themselves. It's based on the SEGA fan club newsletter SPEC, which was distributed around 1990 and created by staff involved in the old Phantasy Star series. Volume 1 of P-SPEC was released at the 2011 Fan Appreciation Festival for Phantasy Star Portable 2 Infinity and has continued up to Volume 6, which was sold at the 2019 Phantasy Star Appreciation Festival. It has now been revived for a 7th volume. Soon it will be 25 years since the release of Phantasy Star Online on December 21st, 2000. How should we mark this occasion? When I asked series director Hamazaki, "Would you like to do P-SPEC again?" I honestly thought it would be too difficult. The number of staff has decreased since the last issue. They're spread across various projects, and there are also constraints on working hours. However, when I reached out to them, some staff members said things like, "I wanted to be a part of P-SPEC." And some staff members who had been involved before also put time aside to participate. That's how this book came to be. Next year will be the 5th anniversary of NGS, and the year after that, PSO 2 will celebrate its 15th anniversary. Recently, some of our staff members have revealed that they were crazy about PSO 2 when they were in junior high school. A game is made by the accumulated work of each individual. If you read this book, you may be able to get a glimpse into the thoughts of each of our staff members. We hope you will enjoy reading this volume of P-SPEC. Phantasy Star Series, Brand Director, Satoshi Sakai.
As we celebrate the 25th anniversary of the PSO series, I want to thank everyone for your continued support. In each issue of P-SPEC, I share some behind-the-scenes development stories, although due to a busy schedule, I couldn't participate in Volume 6. To be honest, behind-the-scenes stories about the development of the original PSO would fit better for this issue, but I only became involved with the original game after Episode 1 and 2 were released, and I joined the management team as a part-timer, so there isn't much to talk about. And much of it has already been covered in past issues of P-SPEC. This time I'd like to talk about the most recent game, NGS. Starting with NGS, I became the series producer and have stepped away from direct game development, but I'm still making decisions at key points, so I'd like to share some of those with you. In NGS, we wanted to introduce gameplay features like AIS and Dark Blast from PSO 2. When we talked about wanting to make it more durable, I suggested, if that's the case, wouldn't it be better to have a reinforced exterior like Denrobium? There are several reasons for this, outside of being a massive fan of Gundam. One of the reasons was that I wanted to achieve a dream I had since PSU, which was incorporating action elements unique to sci-fi similar to SUV weapons. Fans of the series will also notice that Dark Blast is a homage to Nano Blast from PSU as well. Another reason is that when Dark Blast was implemented in PSO 2, many users were displeased that the appearance of their characters, which they worked hard to create, was forcibly changed. We realized that unlike AIS, This was likely caused by Dark Blast's strange appearance.
Side note, if you ever wondered why you can make Dark Blast transparent, this is why. This feature was patched in after initial complaints rolled in.
With this feedback in mind, we asked the development team to consider it when designing Mars. The first issue arose from the load on graphical rendering. We quickly came up with a solution by not rendering weapons and mags while Mars was active, and to use those resources on Mars instead. The next issue was figuring out how to obtain more resources to render Mars better. There was a concern that we might need to render the Mars weapons, which are very large, at lower graphical fidelity, which would look rough, and the quality of the system couldn't be guaranteed. Before the design of Mars even began, the leader in charge consulted me saying, "We can't guarantee it will look good, so we want to give it a robot exterior that changes the entire body, like AIS. However, I strongly declined the proposal. This was because, setting aside the reasons mentioned above, I felt that even if something similar to AIS was added to NGS, it wouldn't feel as exciting as when AIS was first introduced in PSO 2. Unlike AIS, it was decided that it would be possible to activate Mars anywhere, and although the detailed specifications had yet to be worked out, it was very unlikely Mars would offer the same mobility as AIS, and we predicted that it couldn't have been as large. So there were concerns that it could end up being an inferior version of AIS. Another reason was that it would be a rather uninspired rehash. The biggest dilemma for a long-running series is whether it can surpass previous titles, even before comparing it with other competing titles. I think that for NGS, as with other titles, its biggest rival will always be PSO 2. Even if it's based on a previous idea, if it definitively can be executed better, it should rather be done through things like self-homages. However, if that isn't possible, I think it's time to consider other options. Furthermore, the main reason I declined making Mars similar to AIS was because I had doubts about the quality concerns. I knew that weapons and mags are usually very small on the game screen and had enough detail to look good when viewed up close. And most importantly, from my past experience as a director, I knew that the development team would overcome any difficulties and meet my expectations, even if they were somewhat unreasonable. So I told them, "Don't worry, where there's a will, there's a way." Following this unreasonable and unfounded wish from me, the plan was left unchanged, and the development team proceeded. To be honest, I was half gambling with this decision, as is the case with most decisions in game development. Whether this decision was the correct one depends on the users who have actually played Mars. I'm sure everyone has their own thoughts and opinions. However, I was not involved in the development of Mars outside of those instructions. Once I played the finished version just before it was released, I thought, this is a win. There is another little story I want to share about Mars. In the scene where Dark Falls Viel is defeated, the player summons a golden Mars. There is a story behind it as well. As usual, I gave a Gundam-related comparison as a joke, but there was a good reason why we had to do it the way we did. I was in charge of creating the plot, supervising the scenario, and directing chapters 5 to 7 of the main story. When it came to creating the final scene, I had just seen the finished version of Mars and suggested that it should appear. Production of the scene began, but during the storyboarding stage, I was consulted by staff. They said, due to system limitations, Mars can't reflect the colors of the player in cutscenes like it can during gameplay, and the only options are to either set it to default white color, similarly to how cutscenes always depict the player using a prim sword, or not include Mars in said cutscene at all. I didn't like either solution, especially since we made it a point for Mars to reflect the player's appearance. And above all, it would have been boring. However, I knew that overhauling the system to get rid of limitations would take a lot of time and money, which wouldn't be cost-efficient. I couldn't be reckless in this situation, so instead I came up with a compromise. Let's add a special color effect that the user can't set to give it a special feeling as the final scene. So, when it came to what kind of color to use, the first thing that came to mind was a blue glow, since that's the color of photons. But since that has been done a lot in the past, I wanted to do something more unique. When you think of something special, the word super comes to mind. Isn't super associated a lot with the color gold? SEGA's mascot character is gold too, and that's how we arrived at the decision. As a result, the scene stood out against the dark backdrop, and it was a fitting tribute to the defeat of Viol. So I think it was executed well. As I've mentioned before during a NGS headline and elsewhere, this content was born from an internal competition. NGS is being developed by one of SEGA's 4 development studios, which also develops and operates titles other than PSO 2. This studio holds internal competitions once or twice a year. The theme changes each time, and there are multiple categories for submissions. Participation is open to anyone, regardless of occupation. So, for example, people who don't normally draw at work sometimes submit designs. If a design receives positive reviews, it may be released into the world, although the amount is limited. It has been used for item designs distributed in PSO 2 and NGS. And in fact, Idola, a Phantasy Star saga, was born from these competitions. A few years ago, the original idea competition called for submissions for a PSO 2 in-game minigame project, and the winning proposal was the prototype for Line Strike submitted by Iwahashi-san, who was the director of creative spaces. The game rules have been refined over time, but the final specifications haven't changed much. Starting with the analog board game version, the volunteer team worked away little by little in their spare time until they were finally able to implement the project into the game. In fact, one of the initial concepts for PSO 2 was to implement content like a trading card game where users battle each other. But even during PSO 2's long service life, this never came to fruition, which was a bit disappointing to me personally. However, after more than 10 years, I was deeply moved that the younger staff members, who had no knowledge of that past, were able to make that dream come true without me having to say anything. It's been 25 years, and I myself have been involved for just under 23 years. But as I was writing this article, I was reminded that by being tenaciously involved with the same series for so long, dreams that were not realized in the past may one day come true in a different form. Thanks to the support of the users and efforts of those involved, the series has been able to continue for so long, and I have been able to realize various ideas and dreams, which makes me feel very fortunate as a game developer. However, there are still many ideas that are lying dormant and dreams that I want to make come true. It will take time. I don't know if it will be 5 or 10 years from now, but I believe that they will come true someday, and I would like to continue the series for a long time, and believe that this is the best way to repay everyone's kindness. I hope that if there is another opportunity, I will be able to talk again about this newly realized dream. Rappi Kimura is the nickname that Terada-san, who was senior director at the time, gave me since I had blonde hair. Terada-san and I have not been able to work together for many years, as our development studios have split, but in our private time, we hang out together about once or twice a year, and I still consider him my spiritual mentor.
Hello, ARCs. It's been a while. I used to work as a producer, but it's been a while since I last appeared in public, so I'm sure there are many people meeting me for the first time. My name is Sakai Satoshi, and I'm the brand director for the Phantasy Star series. It's been over 25 years since I was involved with the original PSO as the main designer, and I've been working exclusively with Phantasy Star ever since. However, My main job these days is working in the community-related department, which also covers other titles based on my various experiences in the user community, including the successes and failures of the Phantasy Star series. I think that operating an online game is difficult, no matter how many years I've been doing it. But even in those situations, I've been thinking about how to create connections between users, the development and the operations teams, and how to create connections between the users themselves so that they can enjoy the game to the fullest. It's been a while since the last issue of P-SPEC, but for the 25th anniversary of PSO, I wanted to share some nostalgic memories, since PSO is somewhat of a grandfather for NGS. I joined the graphics demo team and a few months later created 3 demos: Dragon, Forest Village, and Future City. The 3 demos created by the graphics team actually became the basis for the footage shown at the Tokyo Game Show in spring 1999, when Phantasy Star Online was first announced. It was then decided that the next project should be something that used the network and had the highest visual quality possible on the Dreamcast. And the 3 teams that were originally separate merged to form the PSO team. I then became the main designer for the game. As the main designer of the next generation network game, there were 2 things I absolutely had to do. Instead of a top-down view, the game will use a third-person perspective where you see your character from behind. Instead of a chat log, the game chat should use speech bubbles. The reason I focused on both was because I wanted to emphasize a sense of unity with the character. However, the third-person perspective had some rendering problems, such as it's difficult to understand what's going on around me, and you can see far into the distance. The speech bubble chat was met with negative reviews from testers who said it makes it difficult to see the chat log, and it's a joke. Nevertheless, we pushed through, and both were a huge success. By using easy-to-understand third-person perspective and speech bubbles, we were able to achieve the flashiness and sense of unity with the characters that is appropriate for a consumer network game. Another thing we were particular about was character creation. At the time, character creation in other games involved choosing everything from a set of patterns. So I suggested incorporating morphing into the character creation system. This was because I have been in charge of the player dragon in the SEGA Saturn game Panzer Dragoon, and had created a system that allowed the player to freely transform the dragon shape. So I thought this could be applied to PSO as well. By adding the ability to adjust body shapes and stages, we thought we could add more variety to the characters. This was also an unprecedented system that was met with great acclaim. It's great to see that all 3 major features of the series, third-person perspective, speech bubble chat, and free character creation, have been carried over into NGS, even after 25 years. What all 3 have in common is how they increase the love for the player character. You can freely create your own character and have conversations in speech bubbles from the character's perspective. By creating a game that allows you to pour your love into your own character, not someone else's, I think we were able to highlight the distinctive features of the PSO series, which continues through to NGS, as a game where you love your own character. Following the 25th anniversary of PSO, next year will mark the 5th anniversary of NGS. The year after that will mark the 15th anniversary of PSO 2 and the 40th anniversary of the Phantasy Star series, making for a series of consecutive anniversary years. Many of our team members grew up playing PSO 2, and many are currently active players. These new members will support the future of NGS and create new unseen titles in the series. We will continue to do our best to continue the series. Your support will be a great help to the development and management team, so please continue to support the Phantasy Star series. As a game developer, I'm completely retired and have almost no involvement with the main game of NGS. But as someone who works behind the scenes, I still occasionally make comments about broadcasts, events, and supervision. Thank you to everyone who bought something from the PSO 25th Anniversary Pop-Up Shop. By the way, Sakai Yuta, the director of Persona 5, the Phantom X, despite having the same surname, we're not related to each other. I'm so sorry about any confusion caused by that.
Celebrating 25 years! It seems like such a long time period, but it passes before you know it. P-SPEC has previously published music sheets. This time I chose a song related to PSO, Rose Confession. I wrote the intro to this song when I was a student, but I wasn't able to write anything beyond that, which I regretted at the time. However, when time came to create a song to be used in the secret cutscene in which you see Rico's spirit, this intro started playing in my head. I remember thinking that if I could create a song that suited this intro, it would surely become a song that suited Rico as well. So I took on the challenge of creating it again.
Well, I'm also approaching retirement age. I never thought I'd stay at this company that long. So, this will be the last time I appear in P-SPEC. I thought I'd take the opportunity to write down my thoughts before my retirement. Basically, it's just ramblings of an old man. I joined SEGA as a designer and did pixel art, but my desire to make games became stronger than my desire to draw. So I switched to being a planner. Of all the roles, the one I have fondest memories of is the scenario work. I have mainly worked on the scenarios for the following titles: Phantasy Star 4, The End of a Millennium, Magic Knight, Ray Earth, Sonic Adventure, Phantasy Star Online, Sonic Rush. I believe that a game scenario is not something that simply tells a story, but something that creates an environment. There are many games that have story segments in between gameplay, but I don't think that this is a scenario that tells a story and can even be called a game scenario. I'd suggest something akin to old point-and-click adventure games. By searching on the screen, you receive various messages. It would be boring if there is no message at all, or only a specific message. No matter how pointless the message, it's nice if you receive some kind of unique response. If the message is interesting, you feel joy and happiness having found something. The game progresses by deciphering the next action from there. Old adventure games were games that required play like that. The player is free to do whatever they want in that situation. Therefore, I believe that a game scenario is a textual environment that corresponds to the actions that the player takes within it, and that whatever the player does, a textual response is provided in return. This kind of hospitality is what a game scenario is. Setting aside the event scenario, for example, if it were an RPG, how are people in this town living at this very moment? What are they thinking? What is there on the field, and what do the players feel and think when they see and hear it? With that in mind, I wanted to provide as many fun worlds, atmospheres, and receptacles as possible. We were very conscious of this when we created the People on the Street message. And in Phantasy Star 4, we had search messages all over the place that would elicit a response. Out of the characters that I can say I created, the one I'm most attached to is Rico Terrell from PSO, followed by Blaze the Cat from Sonic Rush, and then Cream the Rabbit, who appeared in Sonic Advance 2 and later. Looking back at my work, the first thing I did was make a game, so I created characters based on game design. I've written about Rico Tyrell before in P-SPEC, so I won't go into detail here. But first of all, considering that it's an online game, the main focus is entirely on the gameplay, not the story. Also, since this is an online game where each player's progress is never the same, we focused on guiding the player by creating an environment rather than creating long events. So at first, I wanted to at least explain the current situation to motivate the player to take on the dungeon. And then, by reading the message packs, I hoped that the player would eventually empathize with Rico. That's one side of PSO that players can see, and by creating lots of quests, we're going to show another side of it. And by layering these, we're going to paint a three-dimensional picture of the world, Raggle and Pioneer 2, by deliberately not depicting too much. It's also led to a lot of speculation. I also believe that if it can make players feel the same emotions, the shorter the text, the better. I think that PSO executed that extremely well, so I have a deep attachment to it. The text for Rico and the main story was written by me, but many of the quests were written by Kano-san, who also worked on PSO version 2. I believe that the writer's style inevitably comes out in the text, so I wrote all of the text for Phantasy Star 4, Ray Earth, and Sonic Adventure myself. This was to ensure consistency in the text and characters. PSO was the first time multiple people were in charge of the project, and I ended up making some minor revisions. But the quests in PSO had Kano-san's style, which was a good thing. Anyway, I think the scenario and characters should be one with the game design. The scenario is essentially what you want the player to feel. It is the interface between the player and the game. Nowadays, games are getting bigger and harder to make, but ideally, I think it would be good if the director who thinks about the game as a whole could also be the writer. And even if that's not the case, the writer should understand the overall picture of the game and think about how the player will play and spend their time within it and prepare the scenario accordingly. There are some things that I do regret even to this day. When Idola of Phantasy Star Saga was running, the producer at the time told me, "We're going to release Rico next. Please write the scenario, Nishiyama-san." Although I had already left the development scene by that time, I remember immediately replying, "Sure, I'll write it." In my mind, she is completely dead, so there is no way to make a sequel. So, in that case, during Rico's adventure, she was actually transferred to another world. Somewhere along the way, Riko was adventuring alone, so she must be happy to talk to other people. I want to make sure it captures the state of Riko from back then. Unfortunately, this story was never completed, but I have a few excerpts from my notes at the time.
Uh-huh. I was walking through a dark, narrow space just now, and then suddenly I ended up here. What is this place? The air seems different. I wonder if some kind of force has sent me here. Whoa, someone's there. Are you from Pioneer One, perhaps? Sorry, it's been a while since I last spoke to a human. It's fun talking to you, though. Just let me know if I talk too much. Wow, that's awesome. As I was leaving, they said, "For some reason, I have a feeling you shouldn't go back to your original world." Thank you, but I have to go. There's something I need to do. There are people waiting for me. Well then, see you again someday, somewhere.
The shower and nap rooms are gone. The IT facilities are in place. Employee benefits are solid. And training and education programs are extensive. So I think the company has become what is generally considered a good company. I do miss the days when we had fun, working late into the night while gritting our teeth.
Since I didn't have a chance to talk about it, I'll reveal a little bit of behind-the-scenes information about Line Strike. The cards begin with creating an overall theme. Each Line Strike release is managed under the concept of a set. After deciding on a theme, the direction of the cards is decided next. A set has two roles. One is to provide a unique mechanic for that set, creating cards from the set that players will want to use in their decks. The other role is to create synergy with cards and decks released earlier. Based on information about the mechanics and featured cards provided by other sets, we consider strengthening specific tactics or creating synergy with specific cards. Once the role of the set has been decided, we put together a design policy sheet. These design policy sheets were already created up to the 6th set before the release in June 2024. In other words, the general policy for each set for roughly a year was already decided at the time of release. While all Idola cards have branching destinies, the team initially shared the common goal of releasing them as soon as possible. However, when we started designing individual cards, we tried to create different abilities for each branch, which resulted in too many new abilities in one single set. Not only did we need to consider branching and arrange them accordingly, but adding too many new abilities would increase the complexity of the set. While the number of new abilities adds novelty, it also creates the problem of players being unable to handle them. Additionally, with Line Strike tournaments scheduled for the offline event, Ark's Friendship Caravan, we decided that releasing Idola cards at the time of the tournament wouldn't be a good opportunity to significantly change the environment. Instead, we decided to bring in a PSO ES set, which focuses on cards specialized in single-element mechanics. Furthermore, we felt that having more established abilities would make card design easier. Therefore, we decided to first create the PSO Mega Drive and Universe series, increasing the number of abilities and then reconsider each card's branching abilities. This is a rare opportunity, so I'd like to briefly discuss the challenges of creating original cards from previous series. One of the requirements for designing a character-focused card game like this is to recreate the original. However, with a series that's been running for over 20 years, even junior staff on the development side often don't understand why a certain ability is the way it is, perhaps because they no longer have the necessary environment to play it. These cards tend to be the first to be targeted for revision during balance adjustments, so we end up explaining, well, this character's background is like this, so it's like this. It's both challenging and fun to find a way to express the characters while maintaining the balance as a card game. I'm particularly proud of how well I was able to recreate Ash's innocence, Riko's message pack placement, and Rupika's price. Meanwhile, Break is one of the cards that became completely different from the initial design. Originally, we were aiming to recreate the effect from the original PSO Episode 3, which places 2 wolf tokens in a designated location, but the behavior of producing multiple attackable tokens to essentially accelerate PP became a problem for the game, so we ended up with a debuff that was shaped like Gibarta, which was often used in decks with Break as a leader. We decided to prioritize providing a normal game experience over a distorted game experience by sticking to the original. However, generating tokens in designated areas seems like a lot of fun, so we might use it somewhere down the line. Congratulations on the 25th anniversary of PSO! I played PSO in college, nearly broke my Dreamcast. I actually broke 2 of them, but now I'm on the production side. So I'd like to share with you how Line Strike is made, something that isn't often discussed in detail. To avoid any misunderstanding, I'll state again that the staff involved essentially each have other main jobs, and we're only able to release Line Strike thanks to them dedicating additional time to it. Going forward, the amount of ideas created at launch will run out, and it will take some time to make adjustments, so the intervals between releases will be longer, but I hope you'll continue to support us for a little while longer.
Let's go, Crawford.
Let's settle this, Glenn.
Do! My turn. Draw. It's over, Crawford. I activate the magic card, Polymerization. By combining 3 Nex Elios from my hand or field, I fusion summon Nex Elio Ultimate Dragon. Since this is the first turn, I skip my battle phase. I end my turn.
You're predictable, Glenn. This card will decide my fate. Draw! Ha! It's here. I activate the magic card, Urgent Quest Announcement. When used by the Central City leader, this card special summons 4 Central Girls to the field. Move out. Next, I normal summon Central Cannon. By using Central Cannon's effect, I can launch my Central Girls directly at your life points. Fire!
Whoa!
It's been a while since we last worked on P-SPEC. This is Hamazaki, Series Director. With PSO celebrating its 25th anniversary, I thought, if not now, when will we do it? And decided to republish P-SPEC. I've been involved with the Phantasy Star series since Phantasy Star Zero in 2008, so it's an important series that I've been with for 17 long years, and helped it grow. The icon image is my signature, based on a drawing I made in PictoChat during a PSO pub. It's an important icon that reminds me of my original intentions. I will continue to devote myself to development and management so that I can live up to the great predecessors who built PSO, and so that the users who have loved and enjoyed it over the years can continue to enjoy it. Thank you for your continued support.
It's been a while. Congratulations on the 25th anniversary. I left the team many years ago and was deeply touched to receive an invitation to contribute to the new issue of P-SPEC. I haven't drawn a character I designed in a while, so I've forgotten quite a few details. I used concept art for reference, so I apologize if there are any inaccuracies. For this artwork, I imagined Manin visiting a wonderful universe of Japan, where you can enjoy all 4 seasons and have lots of fun at the same time. I hope you like it. We hope you will continue to support PSO too for many years to come. Congratulations on the 25th anniversary, and a heartfelt thank you to all the fans. This time I drew Glenn, one of my favorite characters ever designed. I've been involved with the series for about 20 years, and have grown through the many designs and art I've produced. There were many challenges and setbacks during development. Looking back, it's difficult to sum it up in a few words, but if I had to try, I'd say that I want Phantasy Star to continue to be loved for a long time to come. I look forward to everyone's continued support. Wow, 25th anniversary already. That's amazing! If you think about it, Phantasy Star has been constantly releasing new titles and updates since PSO was released in 2000. Truly incredible. I hope I can continue designing male outfits for the next 25 years to come. I'm Inomaki, an enemy modeler. I've been busy creating 3D enemy models for NGS. The most challenging one, but also my favorite, was Dark Fel's Veil. Cuddly dolls began due to the surge of people loving these enemies, and I'm incredibly grateful for the fans we have. A development anecdote: I actually showed the cuddly dolls I was drawing as a hobby to the director, who thought, "That's great!" And that's how they were born. This time, I've drawn a bunch of new cuddly dolls. Do you have a favorite one? I tried to create a scene where the dolls are hanging out together in the Halfani marsh. Personally, I imagine Tino's being a mischievous child. I like the crocodile-like feel of Destragus. These days, I'd like to draw some cuddly environmental and starless creatures. Please continue to support cuddly dolls along with NGS. When I was young, I used to play PSO with my friends like crazy. Once I became an adult, I joined the PSO team for a few years. I've designed several outfits, cast parts, and items. You could say I spend my days gazing at the cute cast girls. I'm incredibly grateful for being able to participate in P-SPEC. I've been working as a 3D modeler since PSO 2. Up until now, I've created a variety of items, including outfits, weapons, and accessories. I dressed up Sue in Chocolate Felice, which is one of my favorites. I imagine she would wear it on her days off, and a pure white version would suit her well. There are now many items, but amongst them, I create items every day with the hope that they will become someone's favorite and become part of their memories. And I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. The NGS spec version of the outfit released before NGS began, and before I knew it, various variations had been created. I'm always looking forward to seeing everyone's fun screenshots. They motivate me to keep doing my best. Congratulations on PSO's 25th anniversary! I was a high school student when PSO was released in 2000. At the time, I didn't have a Dreamcast or an internet connection at home, so I could only fantasize about the online sci-fi world. Among the weapons, the Beyblade was unusual for a role-playing game at the time, and I found myself wondering, what kind of structure does it have? This time, I tried to draw the internal mechanism of the saber. It is purely a derivative work, and no such structure officially exists. But in my everyday work, I implement weapon models while imagining these mental settings. We will continue to strive to make the Phantasy Star series even more enjoyable for everyone, so we hope you will continue to support it. Happy 25th anniversary of PSO! Thank you very much for inviting me to such a memorable event, even though I was only a member of the PSO 2 team for a short time. PSO 2 is a game I spent my youth playing, even sacrificing sleep. This time, I chose to draw the two people who caused me the most pain, or rather, who were the ones who helped me the most. Although I am currently working on a different project, I wish the PSO series continued success. I joined the team towards the end of PSO 2 Episode 4, and have been involved with PSO 2 and NGS for almost 8 years now. In the previous P-SPEC, I tried to mix together outfits and enemies that I had a special attachment to, and I did something similar this time. There were a lot of things I had a special attachment to from Episode 6, and the early days of NGS, but I mixed in Vale and Belta Slay, who are relatively new and larger than characters I'm usually in charge of. The color, crown, and atmosphere represent Vile's elements. To begin with, I have a deep attachment to all of the things I'm in charge of, so I look forward to seeing the reactions on social media, to the scratch cards featuring the outfits I'm in charge of. I hope to continue designing things that resonate with everyone. Congratulations on the 25th anniversary of PSO and the publication of P-SPEC. As this is the first P-SPEC since NGS launched, there are many memorable moments, so I decided to draw Manon in her original outfit. Do you also have any memorable characters or favorite outfits? Whenever I draw my favorite characters in P-SPEC, I'm amazed at the attention to detail the character designers put into them. The shapes and designs are amazing. Every time I draw them, I discover something new, which is both educational and fun. If you look closely at the game as a whole, you can see that the developers have poured their passion into it, giving it a deep and rich flavor. I hope that when you get your hands on it, you will be able to feel even a little of that passion and enjoy it. I will continue to work hard, so I hope you will continue to support us. Congratulations on the 25th anniversary of PSO. My name is Mizuno Yuki, and I've been working on PSO 2 as a background designer since midway through the project. For PSO 2 NGS, I was primarily involved in the initial design and oversight role, starting with, how should we create an open field? For places like Le Ciel and Nameless City, I was involved from idea generation to finalization. The artwork is from the impressive Chapter 5. While I've only occasionally been involved, I'm truly honored to have been able to help build PSO's history. While PSO 2 NGS is, of course, a world on a screen, we've been working hard to incorporate various ideas and features to ensure players can enjoy the changing scenery and run around comfortably. We'll continue to work hard, so we appreciate your continued support. Why a swimsuit? Because I'm drawing this in 36 degrees outside. Help! Well, speaking of PSO memories, when it was released, I was working at a small studio developing games for the Dreamcast. There, after work, one of my colleagues would use the dev kits to play and get so absorbed in PSO that he would stay up until the last train, and the company's phone bill would skyrocket, and he would get in a lot of trouble with the company president. Seeing that, I thought, what a crazy game it is to make people so abnormally addicted to it. At that time, the internet was still only available over telephone lines. Naturally, it was a pay-as-you-go service. I never expected I would end up working on that series. You never know where life will take you. Congratulations on the 25th anniversary of PSO. This is my first time contributing to P-SPEC. I was thinking about what kind of illustration to draw, and I decided to draw Aina and Manon, who I have a special attachment to. I created this artwork because NGS was the first game in the series that I played, so for me that story has a special place in my heart. I love how they overcome various conflicts and difficulties and grow. I'll continue to support them. The Rappies that appear in NGS will have different appearances depending on the region. In fact, this effect was added when a group of volunteers, who love Rappies, came together to create the Ritem area, with the desire to express the unique characteristics of the area through Rappie. Also, as you may know, each winning Rappie in the Rappie Design Contest will have its own special appeal. If you have the opportunity to encounter one in the field, be sure to take a closer look.
A thin layer of snow dyed by the setting sun stretches across the sky of Alio. On the hill below, a boy stood. Adults had always told him not to leave the town alone as a child, but he still often came here with his childhood friends to gaze out at the scenery. However, today, what lies before his eyes is the remains of a massive battle with the dolls. The boy realized from his grandfather's conversations that many people had been sacrificed in this battle. Is it possible to protect the world without sacrificing anyone? The damp evening wind blows through, rustling the boy's light purple hair. Despite being at an age where he wants to fight, he possesses wisdom that astounds the adults around him, and he's beginning to realize the harsh reality that surrounds them. Still, he could not give up his childish ideal, the desire to save everyone without losing anyone in the process. However, as the adults perish one by one, the boy is mercilessly reminded that such ideals are far and fleeting. I still don't understand. If only there was a better plan. If only I had thought it through more carefully." Saying this, the boy clenched his fists. "I am chasing my ideals, but I am also worried that they may not come true." Holding both of them close to his chest, he continued to gaze out at the scenery stretching out into the distance. "If only I were stronger. If only I were smarter. Maybe we won't lose anyone." He wanted to believe that. However, somewhere in his heart, he knows that it's not something he can achieve on his own. Suddenly, many faces came to the boy's mind. A childhood friend who is gruff but straightforward and always has his back. Next to him is a friend with a quiet demeanor and dignified eyes. Important people who are always by his side and give him a bright smile. He felt the presence of his friends who supported him, even though he was still a nobody. So he didn't give up. No matter how difficult the road may be, the boy, Crawford, continues to walk in search of a small ray of hope that'll lead him to a brighter future. One day, he'll grow up and lead people towards it.
In Phantasy Star, I went through Phantasy Star 0, PSO 2, and PSO 2ES, then changed jobs to a text editor for Edola, and then came to NGS. I've been involved in a variety of titles along the way, but the Phantasy Star series is one in which both players and development team members are truly passionate. 25 years is a long time period that takes up a large part of your life. We are truly grateful for the support we have received from so many people during that time. In order to live up to that support, we hope to continue delivering fun, passion, and all sorts of things in the future. May Phantasy Star continue to be a part of your daily lives. Congratulations on the 25th anniversary of the PSO series. I wrote in my elementary school graduation essay that I wanted to become a game developer, and now that my dream has finally come true, I'm so happy to be celebrating the anniversary of a title that I've played for over hundreds of hours. I'm currently in charge of modeling character outfits, and I can't help but feel grateful and happy every time someone dresses up their character and takes a screenshot. Let's go, ARCs! Happy 25th anniversary of PSO! This time, we were allowed to create illustrations freely, so I drew Faria wearing clothes that she wouldn't normally wear. The icon depicts Aina, drawn to the best of my ability, without using my dominant hand. Hello everyone! I'm Setsumasa, a programmer. It's finally been 25 years since the original PSO. Can you believe it? Time flies by so quickly. I've been involved with this series for a long time. Actually, I feel like I said something similar 10 years ago. PSO 2 was already more than 10 years ago, so I guess I'm getting old. While you're enjoying your adventure in the PSO series, there are actually many engineers like us working behind the scenes, supporting the games 24 hours a day. Today, I'd like to talk about the little-known job of a network game programmer. The very beginning of game development begins with creating the foundation of the game. We listen to everything everyone wants to do, and then create the overall game design from there. After calculating the expected load when there's an influx of players, we set up the server infrastructure, and then we write the server and client programs. In addition to developing the game itself, we also simultaneously create various research and peripheral tools used by the operation team, which the player will never see. This is very important in server management. Once the game is released, the long-term management phase begins, which is also difficult. First, we create a schedule for the content we'll be releasing on a yearly basis. Based on that, we decide on release dates and how many lines will run in parallel. This line means that a schedule is made for which features will be included in which version, so multiple updates are developed in parallel at the same time. Major version updates occur approximately every 3 months, with minor version updates occurring approximately every 2 weeks. Once a deadline passes, another deadline awaits. While you are enjoying your adventure, we are constantly monitoring the system. We are monitoring whether the server is down or if there is an attack from a hacker. And if there is any problem, we will immediately alert you. We also store various logs of player behavior and use them to analyze game data, find bugs, and make balance adjustments. There are also troublesome players who use bots or cheat, and if an abnormality is detected in the logs, they are automatically banned. Unfortunately, I can't go into more detail because it's a security secret. Continuing to update means improving things without stopping or breaking what is already working. Progress may seem slow, it may seem a little mundane, but we are not just repeating the same things over and over. We are constantly making improvements and increasing efficiency. A system that automatically reports bugs when they occur, an alert system when there is a load, a tool to check whether there are any missed responses for each release, etc. From the era of modems 25 years ago to the present, technology has advanced by tens of thousands of times. However, the essence of our role remains the same: to continue to use the power of technology to support an environment where players can enjoy games without any issues. It is thanks to the systems that operate behind the scenes that you can enjoy your adventures with your friends. I think that automation will continue to advance with the development of AI. In fact, more and more mundane tasks that we used to do manually are now being entrusted to AI. As the original director and current producer, I am very happy. This April, PSO TES celebrated its 11th anniversary. We've only been able to get this far thanks to all the ARCs who play on a daily basis. Thank you so much! This time, as part of our celebration of PSO's 25th anniversary, we'll be revealing our favorite unpublished concept artwork created by art director Rikura-san from his time as director of Idola. I've been involved in the development of the Phantasy Star series for over 10 years, through PSO 2, PSO 2Es, and Idola. It's a story that would have surprised my student self who played PSO on the Dreamcast, but I'm grateful to have encountered Phantasy Star, and more than anything, to be able to walk this path with all of you who love this franchise. I used to be a reader of P-SPEC, but before I knew it, I became the one writing it. You never know what's going to happen in this world. There's a character limit, so I'll just write down some brief behind-the-scenes development stories. Behind-the-scenes Story 1. The laser sensor zone in practice exercise, Large Enemy Sweep Battle, was inspired by obstacles from Fun Takeshi Castle. Behind-the-scenes Story 2. In the Who's This? Quiz in Quiznazoon's Challenge. Part 3. I was planning to include working robots other than Partrum, but it was too difficult, so I gave up. I was happy that it became a topic in Central. Behind-the-scenes Story 3. The temporary nickname for malignant Darkfowl's Aegis was Super Strong Darkfowl's Aegis. Dear Kyokuya, how are you? Are you arguing with Stratos? Is Lucot forcing you to measure her for a maid outfit? Please send Ash a picture of you wearing it. How's the weather there? Is it raining a lot? Fresh dolls are falling every day on Planet Halpha. There are lots of cats in the city, and Ash is quite happy. I've also stocked up on as many cats as I can. Please come and visit. You can stay here if you want. I want to perform a dance emote in front of you again. There will be some chanting, so take care of your throat and make sure you sleep well. Until then, take care. Congratulations on the publication of P-SPEC Volume 7, and thank you for reading this book. Thanks to all of you, PSO 2 has been a story that spans over 10 years. I can't thank you enough. I understand this is the 25th anniversary of PSO, so I apologize for the off-topic nature. When I commented in the last issue, I never imagined that in NGS, we would be able to choose any ear style we wanted, regardless of the character's race. And not just cast ears, Newman ears, pierced ears, or even ruffian ears. I'm so happy about this feature. In PSO 2 NGS, I'm in charge of a wide range of work, from quests and enemies to items, and even planning external collaborations. I'm given pretty much complete freedom to create anything, but characters like Matoi Viel, Emperor Rappi, and Deus Esca are particularly memorable. When I was still a rookie, I remember my heart pounding when I was assigned to create my favorite character, Matoi, as an enemy. I believe that the word smile is an important aspect of Matoi, the heroine of PSO 2, as well as those who inherit the mask. Designing her as an enemy is one of the most important achievements in my life as a creator. I hope you'll continue to support Phantasy Star. Long time no see. It's been a few years since I commented. See you again in the next P-SPEC. Sorry to have kept you waiting, but the long-awaited P-SPEC is finally back. I'm so happy! And this time, it's to commemorate the 25th anniversary of PSO. I entered on impulse, but what should I draw? I hadn't drawn in a few years, so I was worried whether or not I'd be able to get back into the swing of things. I really enjoyed drawing this illustration though, so I hope it conveys at least a little bit of my gratitude to everyone. I'd like to close off by saying the same phrase as last time. See you again in the next P-SPEC. Happy 25th anniversary of PSO! To celebrate the 25th anniversary, I tried to draw a 25-year-old Rappi, but was surprised how ugly it ended up. So I drew Aina in her new outfit and a chubby Rappi instead. Thank you for publishing P-SPEC and letting me participate. Celebrating PSO's 25th anniversary! I got hooked on Phantasy Star 2 on Mega Drive, watched all the endings for Phantasy Star 3, and even copied its opening theme by ear and recreated it on my CC 88 Pro. Phantasy Star 4 is so endlessly thrilling. I've been playing PSO 1 with Orin ID for ages, but back then I never imagined I'd be developing PSO 2 just a few years later. The 25th anniversary means 25 years have passed since I first played PSO 1, so it's a bit of a shock when I ask a new recruit, "Did you play PSO 1?" And they reply, "Oh, my dad did." I'm planning on strengthening my shock resistance so I can withstand the "oh, my grandpa did" response in the future. Thank you for purchasing P-SPEC Volume 7. I joined the PSO 2 ES team and am currently working hard on NGS. Although it may seem like it hasn't been that long since the release, the 4th anniversary has come around before we realized, and time flies. For the illustrations, I drew the heroines of PSO 2 ES, which I have a lot of attachment to, in a summary style. I am extremely grateful to have had the opportunity to participate this time. And lastly, cast girls are great. In PSO 2 NGS, I am in charge of creating tasks centered around the story and designing the production of event scenes. There are many points that I pay particular attention to for each story, such as character motions, blinks, and composition. I especially like the story of Crawford and the others past. From the main task, A Future Without Me, Crawford says, "If you want to know our usual place, it's over there, right?" So we created a scene for P-SPEC at that location. The trio consists of Crawford, Glenn, and Hibana. Thank you to everyone who plays NGS and loves it enough to read this book. I've been creating objects for a long time, but before I knew it, I was a veteran and had to write object specifications. I generally create what's ordered, but I created the attracting saucer and heat torch in consultation with the map leader. I specifically requested the creation of the torch, since I was told there were no new objects in the Kvaris update. It was disappointing that this resulted in emergency maintenance, but I'll continue to work hard to provide users with easy-to-use objects. I'd like to express my gratitude to everyone who always plays PSO 2 NGS. Thank you so much! I was assigned elsewhere in the middle of episode 6, and later rejoined the team after the start of NGS, and it's been 5 years since I started making avatar items. What? It's been 5 years already? You're kidding! Time flies. I have fond memories of when I first played the game, getting frustrated because I couldn't create the double eyelids I wanted in the character creation. And then I thought, I want a line here, and used accessories to create a clear double eyelid, and was very satisfied. I always look forward to seeing everyone's screenshots and comments, and I often check them after new Scratch updates are released. I'll continue to do my best to bring you great stuff. The previous volume was released in 2019. What? That was so long ago. I was so shocked I almost fell off my chair. But when I saw how much character creation had evolved, I understood. NGS has been around for half a decade. I've been playing privately since the PSO 2 days, and now we're in a great era where we can get out of the endless rare digging cycle with the help of distributed weapons and upgrades. And it's amazing how lucky we are. Or aren't. Congratulations on the 25th anniversary of the PSO series. I like tanned characters, so I drew a tanned girl from NGS. I discovered PSO when I was a student and played it all the time, even sacrificing sleep. But now I'm involved in it as part of my daily work checking the website, so it's something I feel very nostalgic about. I hope you will continue to support PSO 2. Well, a lot has happened since the last P-SPEC was published. PSO 2 has evolved into NGS, nails can now be put on fingers, and cell shading can be used to create an anime-styled character. As a character creation enthusiast, I love all these salon improvements. My workplace also allows me to choose any hair color I want, so recently I've been dyeing my hair in various colors. For some reason, I've been losing less hair since I started doing it. Strange. Congratulations on the publication of P-SPEC. Stop! This is the Rappy Police. I'm a low-level employee whose job is to submit requests for changes to Rappy-related items. The Rappy Protection Group is the name of my team at work. Speaking of work, I even attempted a reckless test to beat the level 100 Runo Masquerade when I was still only at level 95. In exchange for my victory, I developed tendinitis in my right hand, but I'm still going strong and continuing to work with Rappy. I haven't test played the tabletop RPG style PSO 2 NGS in the illustration, but if you're interested, I'd be happy if you gave it a try. We hope you will roll a natural 20 and support NGS. I started looking for a partner during the later stages of Idola's service, and now I'm the father of 2 children. This April, I rejoined the development and management team as a producer for PSO 2 ES. What made me really happy about returning to this game was finding out that there was a PSO 2 ES wiki, and that there were many people who continue to edit it to this day. As the years go by, the PSO 2 ES development and management team has seen many people come and go. I hope to continue delivering PSO 2 ES to the people who are currently enjoying the game, while taking to heart the feelings that have been passed down onto me. In my first contribution to P-SPEC Volume 6, I was excited, saying, "I'm looking forward to Episode 6." But before I knew it, Episode 6 was complete. 1,000 years had passed, and I was traveling the stars in an open world, and things have gotten a lot more complicated. Time flies. So quickly. I know it's been 1,000 years since the Battle of Oracle, but I hope that one day I'll be able to see Afin and the other original PSO 2 characters again in NGS. I know it's unlikely, but I can't help but think about it. I'm looking forward to NGS continuing to expand. Thank you for letting me participate. I hope you will continue to support PSO 2 and PSO 2 NGS in the future. Attention ARCS Defenders! Congratulations on the 25th anniversary of PSO. I moved to the US during the development of Episode 6. Over the past 5 years, I've had a lot of experiences, including the global launch amidst the unprecedented COVID-19 pandemic and the simultaneous worldwide launch of New Genesis. When I interacted with local ARCS members at events like Anime Expo, I was often greeted with, "I used to play PSO. I'm truly happy to have been involved in such a memorable and big project. Thank you very much. Congratulations on the publication of P-SPEC Volume 7 and the 25th anniversary of PSO. I've been a player since PSO 2, a few months after the launch of the service. Since the implementation of Tector, I've been dedicated to the support class. I've been involved in the development of the game since around episode 5. I still would like to make a Snowy Buster Quest map. However, I can't make one because it doesn't snow in Omega. It would be fun to try making one in Creative Spaces. I'm very happy to have had a small part in helping to celebrate my favorite franchise. I hope that this world will continue to be loved by many people. Thank you for always playing PSO to NGS. Thanks to all of you, we've been able to continue for so long. It's been 10 years since I joined the project. Recently, I've been supervising quests and map content. Strangely enough, I don't feel any internal growth, but I have definitely noticed my physical decline. Isn't it strange? Is it possible to be an old man on the outside but a child on the inside? I moved closer to the office to reduce my commute time as I was getting older, and it's great! I feel more efficient and have more disposable time. Everyone should give it a try. Time flies. Before I knew it, it was already the 4th anniversary. I've been involved since the game's launch, and I'm deeply impressed by how much it has evolved in so many ways. I started the game as a gunner, but in the blink of an eye, we reached version 2, and as soon as Slayer was released, I immediately changed classes. I plan to stick with this class for a while and strive to become even more stylish. There have been many good and bad things, but we're happy when everyone enjoys the game, so we'll continue to work hard to provide fun content. Congratulations on the 25th anniversary of PSO! My first encounter with the PS series was with the release of Phantasy Star Portable in 2008. At the time, I was enjoying the game as a player, but then, by chance, I ended up joining SEGA in January 2012, joining PSO 2, which was in the midst of development leading up to its release. 13 years have passed since then. Creating Quartz Dragon with Hamazaki-san is a precious memory. I will likely be able to stay with SEGA until PSO's 40th anniversary and celebrate with everyone, so I look forward to seeing you all again next time, at the 30th anniversary in 5 years. I'm an Arx who has been playing PSO 2 since episode 3 and continues to play as a hunter. Hunters are great. They can take the enemy's aggro, are durable, and are hard to kill. You can even gain super armor with Hunter's physique. I think the motto, "When in doubt, choose a hunter," has been firmly passed down in NGS. Once again, congratulations on the 4th anniversary of NGS and the 13th anniversary of PSO 2. The level cap for NGS has reached 105 at the time of writing. I'm looking forward to seeing how strong I can get. As for me, I'll continue to wield a sword as a hunter. Congratulations on the 25th anniversary of PSO. My name is Toyama, and I'm a new PSO 2 ES staff member. I first encountered PSO when I was a child, watching the GameCube version at a friend's house. It brings back memories. By the way, how did you guys first encounter PSO 2 ES? For me, it was the 1st anniversary. A little tidbit about Double One Heroine's calculations. They were inspired by the relationship between what are commonly called frames. Please continue to support PSO 2 ES. See you around! To all the players who have been enjoying PSO 2 ES, thank you for your unwavering support over the past 11 years. We will continue to do everything we can to ensure that players who have not yet tried it become interested in playing, and to provide new ways to play for players who have been playing for a long time. You might think that coming to Hokkaido would bring a cool summer, but this year it's not cool at all. It's too hot in the summer and too cold in the winter. But there's a convenient subway, and the food is delicious. There's still virtual on at the west exit of Gigo Sapporo Station. Everyone, Sapporo is great. I'm waiting for the time to come when AI will create the best games for me. Congratulations on the release of P-SPEC. Before I knew it, 1,000 years had passed. Mag has grown up too. It's been 1,000 years since I finally woke up to the joys of being a ranger. When we first heard that PSO 2 would be switched to NGS and that players would be able to move between the two, I wondered how that was going to work. The game that was created as a result of everyone's hard work is very moving. I'm also happy that there are still people playing on the PSO 2 side. NGS has added many new features, such as creative space and line strike, but above all, there's the animatica face. You can create as many cute faces as you want, and the freedom has increased, so I feel like I'm spending all my time at the salon. There's still a lot of exciting content to look forward to, and I hope to enjoy working on it. Hi, I'm God Iwate. I quit smoking a 1.5 years ago, and smoking really does make you gain weight. Even though I was eating normally, I gained 10 kilograms. Then I developed plantar fasciitis, a foot condition that made walking painful. To top it off, I developed sarcoidosis, a lung disease that affects about 1 in several thousand people. If I ran or smoked, I'd feel dizzy. I was feeling disheartened, wondering why I was getting so sick, and I started to think, I'm getting old. To make up for it, I took 50,000 yen from some guy named Uryu's wallet and swapped it for 5 Nanbu rice crackers. Serves him right. Anyway, I created most of the terrain for the quests inside the cocoon. Thank you for playing PSO 2. I am mainly in charge of supervising the 3D models for character creation items, mainly outfits. Recently, I have also been in charge of the preset faces and character creations shown in the headline wave. I enjoy seeing everyone's reactions. Every time a new item is released, it is encouraging to see everyone's passionate character creations. I am often surprised by character creations that exceed my expectations, and sometimes I use them as reference to design new items. I look forward to seeing everyone's wonderful character creations in the future. Congratulations on PSO's 25th anniversary. I am very happy to be able to deliver to everyone a game that has evolved over the series' long history. While my appearance and physical strength may have declined compared to 25 years ago, I feel that my game-making skills have improved with each passing year. I will continue to devote all my energy to developing the series, so I hope you will continue to support me. I was involved in various aspects of the initial development of PSO 2 as a planner. At NGS, we manage the global version and strive to provide peace of mind to everyone every day. I feel deeply moved that the day has come when I can play Black Niak and complete quests while showing it to my children. I hope to complete quests with them someday. Congratulations on the 13th anniversary of PSO 2 and the 11th anniversary of PSO 2 EES. I believe that it is thanks to the support of all the ARCs that we have been able to continue the service up to this point. I would like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude. Thank you. I have been involved in management work and created banners, etc. since before the ES service started. It seems that I have created over 17,000 banners, including those for in-game, the official website, and various stores. I couldn't count exactly, so this is an estimate based on the number of files in the folder. When you've been running the service for 11 years, it all adds up to this number. I hope that all the ARCs will continue to love the PSO 2 series for many years to come. Hello! I'm Ishi, an enemy modeler. I've been creating enemy characters for about 20 years now, and I'd like to try making a cute female character soon. However, I'm afraid I'll end up with a monster-like character out of habit, so I've been hesitant to take the plunge. The other day, I was sorting through my in-game screenshots, and the oldest photo I found was of a friend taken in 2012. We still play together, and she's quickly becoming my oldest friend. Honestly, development can be tough at times, but I'll keep working hard to make it happen. I've been an ARC since PSO 2. Episode 3. I've been a member of the Czech team since the launch of NGS version 2. In my free time, I mainly play combat content and enjoy hearing user feedback on the latest content from friends on Twitter, YouTube, and more. My favorite class skill is overemphasis. Recently, I've been exploring character creation for a cute face, and I'm struggling to create a cute version of my own character. I'm worried that I'm spending too much money while trying to become more familiar with NGS collaboration items. I want ARCs to thrive for the next 1,000 years, not just 20 or 30 years. I've been a user since the launch of the Vita version of the game, and I'm involved in development as part of the Balance team. I enjoy following PSO2 news, checking out the wiki, ego searching after updates, and watching streams by official creators. I participated in the time attack competition at the ARC's Friendship Caravan Sendai venue as a developer, and we came in second place. We needed a team name that sounded appropriate, so we used Phantasy Star Crew, which was written on a hoodie worn by another staff member. However, Yui Hasagawa, who wrote our name on the award certificate, told us, "I'm not good at writing the alphabet. Phantasy Star Crew is long." So I feel a bit bad about it. This weapon is called the Rycross Staff. It first appeared as a drop from Deus Esca as a 14-star harmonizer. It has a single blank eye and looks around when unsheathed, which I think is cute. It was recently turned into a weapon camo, so I keep it on hand. It's a cute weapon. Some people say it's creepy, but I think it's creepy in a cute way. Speaking of which, there's also a weapon called Eye of Rycross from previous games. I hope they'll implement it as a mag someday. Hoping for more weapon camouflage and mags from previous games. I'm going around on quests with my bouncer today. I'm not skilled enough to play Waker. By the way, congratulations on the release of the new P-SPEC book. I'm the leader of the quest team. Hamazaki-san has been a role model for me. Thank you for playing the game. Smiles are important, so I've been practicing a lot. Again, thank you so much. I guess you could say I'm still alive, but these days people like me who have been involved since before the service launched are nothing short of a rare breed. Here are my notes from a past P-SPEC manuscript. I'm sure I worked hard. I can't count the amount of work I've actually done on the database and servers. Isn't it time for a reward or two in life? Let's ask an AI if I should try to win the lottery. I'm one of the people creating quests. I originally used Slayer, but before I knew it I had become a ranger. I've been creating various quests such as Eclipse Torrent, Eclipse Madness, and Cooperative Starless, as well as some of the limited time quests. I think there have been many complaints about these quests, such as them not being compatible with all ships, and there being a lot of disconnects, but I was creating them knowing that people would probably say that. From next time onwards, I would like to make them compatible with all ships and create quests that are easy for players to play, so I hope you will continue to play NGS. Congratulations on the 25th anniversary of the PSO series. The other day, I was given a sneak peek at the recording of the Headline Live broadcast. Seeing the ARCS members surprised by the announcements, laughing at the reading drama, and getting excited at the live performance up close, I was reminded once again that games have the power to create so many different emotions. We will continue to do our best to deliver excitement to all ARCS members. Finally, I dream of the day when a cast becomes a main heroine. I'm begging you, oh holy swordfish. Thank you for your hard work. I'd like to share some information regarding today's test session. Are you playing Line Strike? Here are 2 anecdotes from the early days of Line Strike development. In the early days, we played with paper cards, calculating power values in our heads, and placing a barrier in the center, so we could place cards and reveal them at the same time, without seeing what the other player is doing. I still remember the excitement when it was automated in the actual game. Also, initially, cards had a rarity concept of common, rare, and super rare. I've attached an image of the Wind super rare frame. The reason ARCS member Shiro is so weak is because he was supposed to be a common card. We hope you continue to enjoy Line Strike. Please look forward to future cards being released. Have you filed your tax return yet? Of course, the income you earn from deck space is also subject to tax, right? Well, maybe not. I've been playing PSO 2 since the summer of my second year of junior high school, and am using my tax return to plant trees. Maybe that's why I don't really enjoy forests anymore. On a day off, my child, who is just over 3 years old, came into the room and shouted, "Ah! Dad's playing games!" I've been keeping the details of my work a secret, but maybe he's old enough to notice. Still, I feel like a hidden hero, and happy to see my child growing up. I hope PSO 2 will continue until the day he can play it. It's been a while. I'm Yellowbird from PSU, where I was in charge of programming and operational direction of PSU, and mainly UI programming at PSO 2 and NGS. I've been participating in the end-of-volume comments for P-SPEC every time since Volume 1. At NGS, I was involved in implementing the recast confirmation icon, vital gauge design, reward box, automatic party joining function, first-time free AC scratch, Mars palette menu, new item display at the item exchange shop, improved EX special ability search, shop visit gifts, featured item drop effects, EX style menu, and skill ring equipment menu. I hope you enjoy at least one of these. Thank you to all ARCs for always visiting Halpha. I'm usually strangled by Glenn's strength, but I'm mainly in charge of improving the UI and line strikes. The UI isn't particularly flashy, but it's fun to look at the tags and comments on the headlines and feel the ups and downs of their content. Recently, the thing that got the most positive response was being able to chat inside the salon. Line Strike has finally released Fate branching, and things are getting crazy. I want to make a Victoria card someday. I'm Sawada, sub-leader of the NGS Quest team. I've been working at SEGA Sapporo Studio for about 3 years. Some of the quests I've been in charge of include Shadow of the Fallen Star, Dark Fal's Dalian series, and many more. I hope you enjoy them. When it comes to practice exercise-type quests, I often create the terrain myself, from placement to design. Congratulations on the publication of P-SPEC Volume 7, and thank you to everyone who picked up a copy. When I bought the last issue of P-SPEC, I never imagined that I would be contributing a commentary at the end of the next issue. You, the person reading this right now, have the potential to become one of those people. I'm a newbie, having only been involved in the work since around Vile, but I've been with ARCS for almost 10 years. Ever since the day I landed on Nefarious as a ranger, carrying a rifle, I've been working on putting up blight rounds every day. I sometimes play other classes. They feel completely different to play. Ranger is the best, and Aina says the same. And that's it. That's the entire book. If you made it this far, you're a real one. If you enjoyed this video or have any feedback, feel free to leave a comment. I could translate the previous issues as well, since for me personally, this book was a fascinating read. It's honestly very interesting seeing the developers say Hamazaki-san is a role model to them, since the English-speaking community would have you believe he's the worst thing since stepping on Legos. Anyway, I figured I would add my own little section to end off this book. I've been in ARCS since 2013, where I played on and off, and I haven't truly been hooked until about 2017. That's when most of the growing pains were ironed out, and PSO 2 became really addicting to play. NGS has a rough start, so I ended up not logging in as often as I would have liked to, but eventually the game grew on me, and I plan to share my passion for the franchise through this channel so that the game can keep growing and achieve never-before-seen heights. To the best of my ability anyway. I'm just a regular player after all. I feel like some people forget that sometimes.